Hello and welcome to Naomi's Bookshelf. We're going to go over my entire owned Agatha Christie TBR today. Now, fair warning, I own a lot of Agatha Christie books, tons. I have an entire shelf here, and some books right here. So there's a lot, but I love collecting Agatha Christie's in different editions. And we're just gonna go over the ones I haven't read yet, or maybe we'll just go over them all. How about let's go over them all? So first we're gonna start off with our pocketbook editions, which I have, the first one being The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. I really loved this one. I also have 13 for Luck, which I have read already as well. I'll let you know if I haven't read them as we go along. Next is The Labors of Hercules. I haven't read this one. And Hickory Dickory Dock, which I have read. So that one wasn't amazing, but it was good. I also have Halloween Party and the 450 to Paddington, or From Paddington. This was my first Agatha Christie book that I ever read and really loved. I remember reading Murder on the Orient Express before this one, but this one hooked me on Agatha Christie. I also have Hercule Poirot's or Poirot's Last Case, Curtain, which will be a sad one to read. And I have The Hollow, which is quite chunky compared to other Agatha Christie books. So I wonder how that one goes. I have By the Pricking of My Thumbs, which I haven't read. This is a Tommy and Tuppence one. And I also have The Man in the Brown Suit, which I have read. That one was pretty good. I have Destination Unknown, which I have not read, and Secret of Chimneys, which I have not read either, although I have started it before. I don't think I've ever finished it though. I also have Elephants Can Remember and Murder in the Mews. Both of these, I don't know anything about Agatha Christie books, to be honest. I don't like knowing anything about Agatha Christie books. I like going in blind. I also own a copy of Murder in the Calais Coach, which is another title for Murder on the Orient Express. I just like having a different title for it. And then I have The Clocks, which I have not read, so I don't know anything about. I also have Death Comes as the End, which is her only historical mystery. The Mousetrap and Other Plays, so a complete bind-up of all of her plays, which I still have yet to read The Mousetrap, and I really want to. And then I have Spider's Web, which is adapted as a novel. So I think it was originally a play and it's adapted by Charles Osborne. But everywhere I see it, it looks like it's an Agatha Christie story. So it's in the list. I also have The Boomerang Clue, which I only recently heard about and I know nothing about. So that one, it also looks like such a fun cover. And the back looks super fun too. Haven't seen that edition before. Then I'm getting into, actually let's not get into those ones yet. Let's get into these ones. I have here Murder in 3 Acts, The Moving Finger, Cards on the Table, and Poirot Loses a Client. So the last 4 pocket-sized books I have are actually from her pseudonym, which she wrote romance books under. So I have here The Rose and the Yew Tree, which was under her name, Mary Westmacott, and I'm trying to collect these books that were written by her pen name. I also have The Burden, then Absent in the Spring, and Unfinished Portrait. So these are all in the pockets book size. So now we're going to go into my independent books. We're going to go up to here and go through the independents. I have, first of all, Towards Zero, which I have not read. The Seven Dials Mystery, which isn't really an independent. It's a Superintendent Battle book, but I have read, loved. The Pale Horse, haven't read. Crooked House, have read. The Mysterious Mr. Quinn, which is a short story collection, and I have read it. And then There Were None, have read. Why Didn't They Ask Evans? I've read that one. Endless Night, I've read that one. And Passenger to Frankfurt, which I have read. Now for Miss Marple and Tuppence and Tommy and Tuppence books, we have a few. I have the Miss Marple completed short story collection, which I have not read. I've read some short stories, but not that one. Sleeping Murder, which I have read. They Do It With Mirrors, which I have not read. And Murder at the Vicarage, which I have read. So that's Miss Marple. Then I have The Postern of Fate, which I have read. And then this omnibus of Miss Marple, there is The Caribbean Mystery, which I haven't read. A Pocket Full of Rye, haven't read. The Mirror Cracked from Side to Side, which I have read. So there's that one. So now on to Poirot. We have Cat Among the Pigeons, which I haven't read. Taken at the Flood, I have read that one. Evil Under the Sun, I've read it. Hercule Poirot's Christmas, which I've read. Murder on the Orient Express, which I've read. Death Comes in the Clouds, which I have read. Third Girl, I've read it. Death on the Nile, and I have read that one too. Murder in Mesopotamia, which I have not read. And Lord Edward Dies, which I have not read, or have read. I read it a lot, don't worry. So next we're gonna go into my Black Dog and Leventhal publishers. I think that's how you say their name. I'm gonna write it down here on the screen so you can see, but they look gorgeous on the side and on the front. So I'm gonna go through them one by one if I've read them or not, like every other book. So here I have The Mystery of the Blue Train, which I have read. Then I have Sad Cypress, which I have read. The Murder at the Vicarage, I read it. The Body in the Library, I read that one too. Five Little Pigs, which is also known as Death in Retrospect, which I have read. The Moving Finger, I haven't read this one. The ABC Murders, which I have read. Evil Under the Sun, which I read. Hercule Poirot's Christmas, which I have read. The Tuesday Club Murders, haven't read that one. And Death on the Nile, which I have read. So the last of my Agatha Christie collection contains big books or books that are oversized right here. I don't have them fitting perfectly in aesthetically, so I've moved them together. So here I have two books that are by Sophie Hannah, and I don't know why they're part of the Agatha Christie collection. It's a new Hercule Poirot mystery, so maybe the Agatha Christie Society commissioned her. Anyways, I have Closed Casket and The Monogram Murders. I also have Hercule Poirot, A Murder is Announced. However, not Hercule Poirot, Miss Marple. However, it is in large print, so it doesn't really fit with the other ones, and I'm too snobby and picky to have it fit there, even though it doesn't work. Then I have the Hercule Poirot complete short story collection. So this is a very wide, thick book of all of his short stories. So there's that. I also own Nemesis, and I believe this is a Tommy and Tuppence book. Or is it Jane Marple? There's Jane Marple on the description right there. So it's a Jane Marple, haven't read that one. Yeah, haven't read any of these except for The Murder is Announced. Then I have in this bind up here of Miss Marple. I'm saving it for when I own all the books that are in here. And I have here The Mirror Cracked, A Caribbean Mystery, Nemesis, What Mrs. McGinty Saw, and The Body in the Library. So I haven't read What Mrs. McGinty Saw and A Caribbean Mystery, but I have read many of the others. Not Nemesis, but yeah. Then I have here the Agatha Christie Companion. So the complete guide to Agatha Christie's life and work. So this, I think, is just a collection of what her characters are and what books happened, the plot of each book. So spoilers, I'm sure. So I don't want to read it until I'm finished her books maybe, or if I want to maybe look up each individual book. I bought it a long time ago, haven't cracked it open. The last one I have here is Agatha Christie as Mary Westmacott. And this is 4 of her novels. So Absent in the Spring, or 3 of her novels. Absent in the Spring, Giant Spread, and The Rose and the Yew Tree. So I just own Giant Spread in this edition that I don't have in another edition, which I haven't read any of her books as Mary Westmacott. So that's the end of my collection of Agatha Christie for now. I'm sure it will grow and expand as I cannot seem to help myself with buying more. But please let me know down below what's your favorite Agatha Christie book. Please subscribe if you'd like to and like this video if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time with another video. Bye for now.